Plays automatically. Didn't leave myself much room there to go. Here we go. This is from Police Academy, the cartoon series, Volume 2. It's 99 pence. It should have been, how much was it? Oh, this was just a rent. 3 evenings rental, 99p. There's the famous Warner home video logo. I think we start off with BBFC title card there. Phantom Menace, Freudian slip, James Furman. This is a really funny cartoon because I don't think I actually watched it sort of when it was sort of a brand new series, and I think I only ever watched about one episode of the for real TV series. No disrespect to this. Can you believe though as well? That's one thing about Police Academy that I always think is funny is that like, oh, I thought this was a good touch when I was watching it last night because that's like Hightower's dog there. And that's, this cartoon's really faithful to the animated series. There's Lassard. Actually, forget what I've just said. Oh, Tackleberry, rest in peace. Volume 2. The Phantom of the Precinct. And as well, that's one thing I thought was really funny is that... Proper just reminded me of like Scooby-Doo and the way the title card came up. This animation is quite good. Oh god, why I sneeze on commentaries? That reminded me of Beverly Hills Cop as well. There, the way the screen was, the video wall. And that was very similar to the very start of the first Police Academy film. It seems funny knowing that there's I'm Raw from Thundercats. Oh, that was another thing as well. I've got an extensive collection of notes here, what I took last night. That kind of reminds me of, well, what the action figure would have probably looked like when these real Ghostbusters ones and things like that, they have like a scared one where you press the character's arms and he suddenly goes, Jones is doing the sound effects. I think that's actually Michael Winslow doing the voice as well. Copsicle. Harris. But that's one thing as well about sort of Police Academy is because there must be something really good about Police Academy in this regard there. I normally can't remember character names for the life of me, and nearly all the characters in Police Academy I can remember. Like Hooks, Sweetchuck, Zed, Copeland, Proctor there, Harris, and like I say, that is a real sign of good writing in a way to me that I can actually remember the characters.
Alright, clowns, listen and listen good. Three of my best men have faced this phantom, and these are the results.
They've all got...
Like a bad case of boo flu to me.
Well, what's kind of funny about this though as well, because I was watching this and thinking, it's sort of aged relatively well, all things concerned, and I know everything nowadays is like some kind of political hot potato, but it was just like there was a couple of times when Hooks was talking, she's like, I'll sing all dance, like kind of like proper, like sort of. She didn't actually say those words, but it just kind of reminded me of those like, characters from the 30s and 40s when they're really stereotypical. And there's one part where they get like covered in like white dust, and they show Motormouth Jones, Michael Winslow's character, that's saying, "Oh look, it's just makeup and it comes off," and it's like, oh.
Gang, it looks like we're going ghost hunting. Hey guys, somebody just
Oh, it's Hose.
and it looks like the work of the Phantom. Okay, gang.
Always funny trying to ride the volume, get the volume just right.
That'll be easy.
Got my famous Batman mug, famous to me. Got it from Video World. I was going to do a scan of this card. Can't actually remember the exact building where it was, but yeah, there was 4 branches at this point, and the branch I got it from is not on here. Oh, that's weird. Your personal identification number is 004244. 4,000 members to that point. All films must be returned by 4 p.m. on Saturday. Please inform us immediately if you lose this card.
This job. Ready, troops?
It's time
Did you ever find cartoon women attractive? I thought that was funny last night when I was watching it. Poltergeist reference, and that's one thing, because there's 2 episodes on this tape, and there's a character, I can never remember his name, not a character, an actor, Peter Lorre, I think his name is, and he's got this like kind of like, I'll be here in the back, kind of like that kind of voice, and like they're like a reference to Poltergeist and things like that. And sort of, there's a character in this as well called Renfield, and I thought, when I was doing my notes last night, I thought, wow, that title seems really familiar, and I thought, oh, he's from Dracula. So they're like referencing all these things that like would go over like the heads of like 99% of kids, and it's like, but you watch this analogy, go, oh, I'll get that. And I don't know which character it was in there, so it was watching things with Soul there, a little bit of lines going across the screen. I don't know if that'll turn up on the picture.
some assignment. The only thing we'll find in here is a phantom petunia.
Petunia? Adam the Woo. That was another thing when I was watching this last night. When he said Petunia, I was like, oh my god, he's mentioned. Oh! Sword return?
You have the right to remain silent and to have an attorney present.
What's the worst thing about being a cop? Not being able to carry hand grenades. Well, that's nothing. I was watching this last night. When you think about the first couple of Police Academy films, quite risque for what they are. They got sex jokes in and things like that. And then you think it's like, if this is a cartoon. Thunder, 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 thunder cats. And as well, I was watching it, like you say, yesterday for doing some research. Oh, it was yesterday, it was actually today, about midnight. But I was like, why did you say PA on the collars? And it's like, oh yeah, they're in part of the police academy. Oh god, Mahoney. I even like Steve Guttenberg films when they're cartoons. A good ghost. The dinosaurs roaring. And that was another thing I thought as well. I know this is a cartoon, but when people say slag off things like Jaws the Revenge and stuff like that, and say, look at that, like there, a see-through, well not see-through, but a skeleton of a dinosaur was roaring there. So even if you do it in Scooby-Doo terms, and it's kind of like, it's just some kind of a guy in a suit. It's like, that makes, even as a cartoon, that makes no sense. Although I did see a great tweet as well. Can't remember who tweeted it now, but somebody said, why was Fred Flintstone's son Bam Bam so strong? And somebody replied, because it's a cartoon. And sometimes I think stuff like that's a little bit, you think, oh yeah, but I thought it was pretty funny. I kind of like as well, though, in a way that like Zed there didn't kind of look like Zed in. Well, he did, but he didn't. And like Sweetchuck wasn't that small.
My glasses!
Oh no.
And me with no spare.
Well, I thought that as well, that like when he says there about no spare, I don't think I've ever gone anywhere with a spare pair of glasses, and I don't know if I've ever had a spare pair to the level of my current prescription. So, and that's one thing as well. Like I said, people like George Lucas get slagged off, everything. But like, I'm surprised when many things I've watched where they've been called the Phantom or got the Phantom something in there.
Sweetchuck, what happened? The Phantom, I think. Well, let's go get him.
The music's good as well. Like this just reminds me of Chicago, and not the musical Chicago, the Peter Cetera band Chicago.
You guys cover me.
Excuse me. Those horns are freaking brilliant. Watch out, Mahoney! Oh. Callahan's got covered in white stuff. So, one for the dads.
Thanks, House. I owe you one.
But that's really cool as well. Like, they've got like everybody in it, like like guys like Sweetchuck and House and stuff. Because you really think it would be just Mahoney and like Hightower and Tackleberry and that. Because I think of like House as being one of the later characters, like from Police Academy 4 and stuff. Like, what's he in? Who's he first in Police Academy 4? Little Tom Conklin. Now they call me House.
Oh, this could be the happiest day of my life.
And that's another thing as well. So many things, like QI was on last night, and like so many things. Even now, it's like basically the joke there was it's two men dancing, and it's like, okay, like was it a joke even? Well, I guess it was.
You all want to retire.
Oh, no, sir.
But we could use a shower to wash off this paint. Paint. Oh, hey.
He's just happy to see us back.
Like I say, this is like the same man can't multitask, and it's true. But this is like doing 15 things all at once because I'm doing a commentary, I'm doing a making of. I'm having a cup of tea, coffee.
Sweet dreams, Sweetchuck.
But this is proper sinister as well, and that's one thing I think's funny because, like, thanks to the good old BBFC, this is universal, suitable for all. But like, it's like that's pretty scary. Or it's got the potential to, that's quite a weird thing.
Sweetchuck, where are you?
Here's Castle.
Wait a second. I am the police.
And it's like there, though, that's one thing. And like, again, it's like, if you're doing like an interpretation of a character, why bother do it exactly the same? And it's kind of cool that they don't. But it's like, I guess to be fair with Zed, if you did an impression of like Bobcat Goldthwait, it would be considered like, oh, you literally are just doing an impression. Well, again, I guess it's meant to be the same character. And this, like say, watching this for my research, should we do this for research? Like say, this is a U certificate thing, and it shows how meaningless certificates are because it's a cartoon, but he's still someone who's kidnapped a policeman. Who normally you think policemen are normally sort of very rarely sort of in sort of things aimed at kids and children. Normally policemen are normally relatively safe, and I don't mind. So I think it's like one of these things where sometimes it's good just freak people out a bit. But like if you're watching this from a censor's point of view, the fact that a policeman's been kidnapped by basically an undead creature, and then he's gonna kill this person who's a policeman in like a Pit and the Pendulum style way. I mean, but like I say, I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's Police Academy cartoon, so I guess you've got to swings and roundabouts kind of thing. But that's one thing as well that's kind of a shame in a way, because I used to always think it with the films, because Michael Winslow is so talented with voice work that in a roundabout way you can't help but thinking that it's fake in a really messed up way. But at the same time, it's kind of like on the cartoon, they could literally pull sound effects from anywhere and you'll never be any the wiser, because like I say, I'm pretty sure it is Michael Winslow, but at the same time it's like, well,
Yes, at a very safe distance.
do you find cartoon women with bazookas attractive? Do they still say bazookas?
This place has been booby-trapped. Watch your step, everyone.
And it's like this here, like, oh yeah, because what logical explanation for that? And even now, or even like say years ago, Disney animatronics, like, you know, sort of, like, how hard would that be to do? So like, in terms of like, oh, it's just fake, or maybe the Argos, you know, I don't know if I was watching this very well last night, because I can't remember if they just go, look, it was just Old Man Withers.
Whoever steps on this one will be sorry.
I guess the Phantom doesn't like company. That's Sweetchuck. Those Academy bozos are probably tripping over their own feet.
When he said the Academy then, the first thing I thought about was like the Oscars Academy. I was like, well, they got to do that.
Well, at least there are no feathers.
Oh, they got feathered.
You and your big mouth.
You know, of course, this is against regulations.
The Phantom makes his own rules.
The Phantom Menace makes his own rules. Got a bit of a Darth Maul vibe too, in a way.
Sweetchuck, we found him.
Boy, am I glad to almost
Sweetchuck is small. He barely fits under there.
opening that door certainly created a pleasant breeze.
Stand back. I'll handle this.
Was that thunder I just heard? It must be. It's starting to rain.
You're next, Phantom. The Phantom takes orders from no mere mortal.
What is that, captivating?
He disappeared like
But I think that's the thing as well. I think a lot of people could watch this like really sort of, you know, like in a meta way and be like, oh, this is a good line.
Good thing I watch all those late-night horror shows.
I love Mahoney.
Zed, untie Sweetchuck. The rest of you follow me.
Steve Guttenberg, you rock.
Charge! Get us out of here, Proctor. I will, sir. If I can just reach that ring. Keep it up, guys. We're gaining on him. He's pretty lively for a ghost.
We've got him trapped. It's a dead end.
Wonder if we're still recording visually. But yeah.
We've got him now, gang. It's shut tight.
You know what that B stands for? Sure. Phantom. Wrong. It stands for...
Yeah, because there's a new there's a European guideline that things can record for 20 minutes, so we'll have to do this in 2 sections. Get ready for real change 2.
But where's the Phantom?
Right here. Where you least expect him.
couldn't remember how to do it then.
If you wish to take me, you must first look at my face.
Oh. But that's what's kind of funny in a way, because that's like actually kind of sort of terrifying in a way. That like they're like up until that point, that actually is kind of terrifying. But like say, I do think, and again that's an interesting thing about the Phantom Menace. Oh my God, Coincidence Man is back. But yeah, with things like the Phantom Menace, that was a U, and that's got people being like chopped in half, and like Darth Maul's quite like a threatening character. And considering this is animation, like there, I kind of love that in a way, because, like again, it's only a cartoon, and it's it's funny. I saw a cartoon today. It's what's called Sausage Fest. I think it was called, by Seth Rogen, and it was an R-rated cartoon. And obviously it must have been in the works for a bit, but it seems a hell of a coincidence because of things like Deadpool and that. So it was nice with that Police Academy music, Robert Falk. But yeah, it seemed funny seeing like a cartoon aimed at adults, because I can't think of one since like Felix the Cat or something like that. But yeah, so it's like there, it is what it is. You can think, oh, it's Police Academy, and it's quite immature in a lot of ways, but that's still a pretty weird image. And I don't know, maybe PG is a kind of a bigger certificate than it should have, but then you kind of seems wrong as well in a lot of ways. If you saw this when you were like about 5, you watch it like, if you got up here, oh, this is the safety steps, the PSA, I'll let them just talk.
Did you ever read the story of Hansel and Gretel? Kind of scares me. And even though it's not a true story, we all have something to learn from these two kids. Never enter a stranger's house, no matter how safe it looks. And remember, if you're selling door to door, or trick-or-treating, or whatever, make sure there's an adult nearby to watch. It'll give your story a happy ending.
And there you go. That's Police Academy, the Phantom Precinct, and yeah, it's pretty cool to do a commentary. And thanks for listening. You've been locked.